Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Good Liar. Please welcome DC's most honest con man, Brian Curry.
Very much, and welcome to the show, The Good Liar. My new home at the Capitol Hilton, a block away from the White House, which is a double-edged sword, because on the one hand, it's a block away from the White House. On the other hand, no matter how good this show is, I'll always be the second best liar on the block. That joke was funnier last year. Your job is to decide whether I am a psychic, a mind reader, or just a very good liar. Now, there will be some people who assume that everyone I talk to is just pretending to have their mind read. So I think it's important that you, as an audience, help me pick our first volunteer. 3 small choices will narrow us down to 1 person. Would everyone please stand up in your seats? All right, let's start with this gentleman right here. Sir, who lies better, men or women, sir? I'm sorry, he said he answered for you. What was it, sir?
He said women.
Women, all right. Good luck with your follow-up conversation, sir. Okay, you guys heard him. Women stay standing, men, you can have a seat. Coin toss. Ladies, you're going to select heads or tails. Now, if you want to pick heads, you place your hands on your head. If you want to select tails, you put your hands on your tails. Now, I'm going to toss the coin. If it lands heads and you've got your hands here, you stay standing. If it lands tails and you've got your hands back here, you will stay standing. So, go ahead, I'll flip it. Everyone make your pick. Heads or tails right now. Okay, we good? Can you see that? Heads. So if your hand is on your head, stay standing. Everyone else can have a seat. All right. One last choice right here. What's your name, sir?
Max.
Max, say stop for me.
Stop.
I think it has to be, you stay right where you are, everyone else have a seat. Congratulations, you did it. Selected by a jury of your peers. Your name is, don't tell me, I'm pretty good at this game. Julie? Julie, I don't like your attitude. What is your astrological sign, Julie? I'm a Capricorn, which means I talk a lot. You are a Sagittarius. Ooh, Sagittarius, interesting. That means you're a very kind person. It means you have a very big heart. It also means you're very susceptible to false flattery. I just want to remind you that you picked Julie, I didn't. Right? First, you narrowed us down to the ladies. Then it was a coin toss, you picked heads, and then you literally pointed at Julie. This was your choice, not mine. But before the show started, I made a few guesses. I placed them over here. I guessed you would pick a female with blonde hair. I predicted she would be sitting next to a stud. Yeah. Swing and a miss on that one. I wasn't even close. Last one, please. Was that the moment I lost all lights? That was early in the show. Julie, when's your birthday?
Thanksgiving.
So in
November 25th.
November 25th. By the way, what's your real name?
Sue.
You've been such a good sport. How about a round of applause for Sue, everybody? Sue, everybody. Thank you very much for all of that. Thank you, I'm very excited. Now, as you walked in, you wrote down your initials and then something you lie about. You placed it into that bucket, and I'm hoping, sir, would you mind grabbing that bucket for us and guarding it? Just kind of put it by your feet, and during the show, we'll use it later on. Excellent. Now, by show of hands, how many of you genuinely, 100% believe in the psychic ability? I'm talking reading minds, predicting the future, talking to the dead. Raise your hand if you believe in the psychic ability, 100%.
Some people.
Not a good number. Sorry. Okay, this guy right here. Would you stand up for me, sir? Ladies and gentlemen, this is what a skeptic looks like. Would you mind handing them your drink and joining me on stage? Let's give them a round of applause. Give them a hand. One thing that freaks you out? No hypnotizing. What's your name?
Jason.
Jason the skeptic. I'm Brian the Psychic. Jason, I have a gift for you. It's a fortune cookie. Throw that in your pocket. You don't believe in fortune cookies, do you?
Well, it's American made, right?
It is a way, sure. Jason, you don't believe that they can tell your future, though, right?
But no, most of the time they tell you like things that has nothing to do with your future now. They've changed them.
Right.
I mean,
So what I'm saying is that you don't believe. You're a skeptic. You don't believe in fortune cookies or
The
horoscopes.
ones I've read don't tell you the future. They tell you some random like
The random
you're
stuff.
gonna have a good life.
I don't think I've ever met a skeptic quite like you. This is going to be incredibly difficult. I don't think you believe in like horoscopes or astrology or vaccinations or global warming or none of that pseudoscience. That joke was funnier last year too. It was Jason.
Yes.
Jason, I brought 3 books from different parts of my life. We have Harry Potter. This is the best children's book I've read in my life. We have Jurassic Park. Best science fiction book I've read in my life. And 50 Shades of Grey. Best written adaptation of my life. So we're going to narrow this down. Have you read any of these? Which ones have you read? Which one have you read? This one? All right, fine. We're going to use Harry Potter. Would you take that for me, Jason? Now, the audience is going to help us narrow down to one word in Harry Potter. So let's try it this way. I'm going to start with this guy over here. Sir, would you stand up for me? What's your name?
Chris.
Chris, you seem like a fun guy. Right? You seem like the type of guy who has a drink with your friends every once in a while. Am I right? As the French say, you have a certain je ne sais quoi about you. What is your drink of choice, Chris? When I go out, I like to get a beer. All right, Jason likes to get a fiber supplement. What is your drink of choice? I apologize. What's your drink of choice?
I would say generally beer.
Beer. Okay, how many beers would you say that you have over the course of a year, Chris? We stop you there. That's a red flag. This isn't a mind reading show. This is an intervention. Chris. We all know you very much. Throw out a number.
I'm going to say 582.
582 just beers. That doesn't even count the wine.
Not
Okay, 582. I don't even know if we probably have 582. That's a new record by roughly 482. Chris, you can have a seat. Thank you. You're going to pick. You can either have page 582. I'll give you 2 more choices. How about the young lady right here with the glasses? Ma'am, what's your name?
Samantha.
Samantha, how many different shows do you watch in an average week?
How many different shows? Probably one.
Just one show? The
Yeah.
whole week?
Yeah.
That's it? You and I have nothing in common. Wow, you're really hitting the spectrum on this one tonight. One last question. I'm going to do it with my friend right over here in the back with the blue shirt and the glasses. What's your name, sir?
Andrew.
This is a question for Andrew only. Nobody helps him. Andrew, how many Kardashians can you name out loud right now? Go.
Kim.
Good job.
Maybe it.
That's it?
I think so.
All right. You should look up the rest of the family. They're all super talented. Our numbers. You don't have a lot of choice. 582. I don't know. You can look. I have no idea how many pages. 582, 1 or 1. So you can either go to page 1 or does it go to 582?
Yeah, it goes to 7.
Okay, well, good. Which one would you like, page 1 or 582?
What am I picking?
You're picking because you're going to pick a word off that page.
Okay, so we'll do one.
You will go to page 1. Hopefully there's writing on page 1. Sometimes
That's
there's-
why I did pick
But
one.
let's see if there's any. If there's no writing on that, we'll use the other one. Again, we're having all sorts of firsts tonight. Is there writing on page 1?
Oh, hang on. So page 1 has right.
Okay, don't let me see that page. Go, open it up towards yourself. Jason, I want you to look through and listen carefully. I want you to pick a big word, lots of letters. Don't pick a weird Harry Potter word. Make it a word, muggle word, a word everyone would know, even if they haven't read the
You
book.
want a muggle word?
No, yeah, muggle word. Don't pick a weird word. Pick a word with lots of letters. Tell me when you've got a word.
I got it.
Good. Is it a word you can remember?
Yes.
Excellent. I'll take this. Jason, I'm going to ask you a question. Please be honest.
Yep.
If I'm able to guess the word that you're thinking of right now, would that be a life-altering experience?
Sure.
That was pathetic. Okay. All right. You know what? I'm going to switch it around for you. That word you just remembered? Forget it. Take the first letter of that word and use that to create a new word with the same first letter. So, but make it a short word. So if the first letter was like R, you could do rock or rehab. Look at you, Chris. Take the first step. Think of a small word that has the same first letter. You got it? Good. Now, here's what I want you to do. Jason, I've got an envelope. You can't see through it, but even if you could, inside of it is another envelope. And inside of that is a business card. Write your word big and bold, nice and clear on that business card.
Which one?
The small word, the little word you just came up with in your own mind. But I don't think I've ever met a skeptic like this, or like Jason before.
Same here.
It's unique.
He is unique. That is a very nice way of saying that. But if I'm able to read his mind, this could be like the crown jewel of my career, right? If I were Michelangelo, Jason could be my Sistine Chapel. If I were Madonna, you could be my Leica version. Come on over here for me. Okay, no, right over here on the side for me. Hold on to this, please. Okay, now I want you to hold it up against your body, and I want you just to kind of focus on your word. Close your eyes, relax your body. Okay. No hypnotism, I promise. Seems to be a real issue for you. Okay. Okay. Relax. Now, try to get that word out of your forehead wrinkles. Get that word out of your brain. This is where that fiber supplement would have come in handy, my friend.
It might have looked like that was
Okay. Yes or no? Pens down. You can open your eyes. The word that you wrote down is a 3-letter word. No, but it does begin with 3 letters. Is that correct? That's a hit. I'm going to call that a hit. I get it to a word. All right. Just imagine the first letter floating over my finger, floating right past my finger, right out those door. Starts with an E.
Yep.
It does.
It does.
Okay, this is working. You're like a Kindle. I can read you. You're just not as bright as I like you. That came out wrong. That came out wrong. I apologize. For that. We're going to trade. No peeking. Just hold this up against your body. Okay? All right, I'll take this. All right. Now let's just recap what happened. Someone picked Harry Potter. You picked Harry Potter. Then they picked some pages and a word, and you didn't want that long word. You wanted your own word.
No, I wanted the long word.
You wanted the long word?
Stop.
Too late now.
Stop.
We're not going back.
Stop.
You wrote down your own word.
Yep,
You didn't tell anyone what it was. Okay, for the first time, say it out loud. What was the word that you wrote down?
Error.
Error? E-R-R-O-R? Take a look and show it to the audience.
Shut
I'll be honest. I don't normally like skeptics, but I like you, Jason. I'm like we'll get to that. I'm like a proud papa. You're my Ivanka in a sea of Eric and Don Jr.'s. Now, I have a feeling you're still skeptical. That's why I put that fortune cookie. In addition to trying to read your mind, I try to predict some of their thoughts, and I put that prediction in your pocket. Take out that fortune cookie. Yeah, open it up like a bag of Doritos.
Oh, yeah.
Back to you.
Here it goes.
Crack it open and read what is printed on there nice and loud. There you go. And read that out loud.
You will receive Harry Potter.
You will see Harry Potter. Where is our girl? Who picked Harry Potter? That was you. 1 out of every 3 shows. This part of the show is stunning. Right? But wait, there's more. I think we can all agree, if we've learned nothing else tonight, there's one thing we can agree on. We had no idea how often Chris drank, right? 582. We had no idea how many TV shows you watched, only 1, or that you could name 1 stinking Kardashian. Really? 582, 1, and 1. Every fortune cookie has lucky numbers on the back. I put 3 lucky numbers on the back. What's the first lucky number on the back there?
582.
582. What's the second lucky number?
1.
Is the last one 1?
Last one's 1.
Let's hear it for Jason, our skeptic. Thank you so much. Hey Jason, I'm curious. You know that long word that you picked? What was that word?
Embarrassment.
Embarrassment? Remember when I wrote down a word and I crumpled it up and I tossed it? Did you get that for me? Suck it, skeptics. I'm dropping my actors. Excellent. Now, I didn't tell my wife, Becca, when I first met my wife, Becca, I didn't tell her right away that I was a psychic. although I think she knew, I could tell. We were on our second date, and we're still sizing each other out, deciding how much we like each other. And I took her to my favorite restaurant on 8th Street. It's called Sticky Rice. And we're walking back to my car, and she sees a neon sign that says psychic. And she grabbed my wrist and says, "Oh my God, we should have a psychic reading." And that was the first time that I remember thinking that I found my person. So we went downstairs. Our psychic's name is Miss Wanda. Miss Wanda was a beautiful woman with like a tan shirt and black hair. And she did a tarot reading. And Becca cut a card, and this is the card that she cut to. It's called the Lover's card. And Miss Wanda gasped. She said, "I've never said this before, but I think you two are going to make it." What Becca didn't know is that by pure luck, Miss Wanda was one of my oldest friends. I helped her with that ridiculous name, and I'm pretty sure she was going to say the same thing no matter what card we picked. But I've kept this for over a decade as a reminder of one of my all-time favorite dates. Speaking of dates, how many of you are on a date with your person, together? If you're here with somebody else, I can't help you. All right? Just throw that out there. You guys look happy. Should you stand up for me for a second? How long have you guys been together?
2 years today.
2 years today. Congratulations. Happy 2 years. Is it serious?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You came to a mind reader. You put a ring on it?
Yeah.
Today?
No.
Oh, okay. I hope so. How long ago? I'm just kidding. You guys came to a psychic for a good story, and I'd like to deliver. Would you join us on stage? Let's give them a hand. Bethany. Thank you guys. So we have Bethany and we have Max. You can take right here. Perfect. Now, you guys have been together 2 years. Actually, it's interesting. They say after just 1 year, you start to develop a psychic sense. I bet there are times, Bethany, without speaking, that you know exactly what Max is thinking, right? Sometimes? It's only been 2 years. And Max, I bet there are times without speaking where you know exactly what you're thinking. I have what I call the Brian Curry soulmate test. It's one simple question. It's a question that I have a whole stack if you guys want to play the game after the show. So Bethany, you're going to take the pen, and first I want you to take this and write your initials at the bottom. We're going to determine your psychic compatibility. Okay? Now, I want you to close your eyes for a second. Imagine a TV screen full of static. It slowly fades away, and there's one word left in the middle of that TV screen. Open your eyes. Is that a word that everyone who speaks English would know? It's not like a weird... Okay, try it again. So close your eyes. Think of a word. First word that pops into your mind. Make it a common word everyone's heard of. Have you got it? Don't think too hard about it. First one that pops in, and open your eyes and write down that word. Now, yes, please. Yes. Now, I'm here to help you, Max. I'm like your guardian psychic. It's a guardian psychic's like a guardian angel, except the only wings I have are buffalo. Are we good? Okay, can you cap the pen for me? Okay, and now you see what it says right below your name, right next to your name. It says crumple. Excuse me, it says crumple and concentrate. Grab that for me, crumple it into a little ball. Yep, and then focus on the word, because he's going to try to read your mind. Now, how confident do you feel? Are you feeling like super confident?
No.
No. Okay, all right. On a scale of 1 to... Oh, let me give you some privacy. Look at it. Turn around. Don't look. On a scale of 1 to 10. No peeking, head down. All right, this way. There you go. Excellent. You can open your eyes. Don't you do that. On a scale of 1 to 5, how psychic is he? 5 is the most psychic. Yeah. Don't say it out loud, because that's the whole point of the hands. What are the chances he guesses this word? All right. It's the start of every good love story, okay? I want you to stand right here, Bethany, and face towards Max. Max, are you ready? Feel good? Stand right here, face towards Bethany. Now, the secret is to pretend that you're doing this, and you're going to write down what it is that you would write in there, okay? So you're going to try to guess her word. Now, I want you to focus on it, and I want you to first, I'm going to have 3 questions, and we're going to narrow it down. Is it a long word or a short word? Let's say a long word is over 5 letters. Long or short?
For her.
Yeah, did she write down a long word or a short word?
Short word.
If he, no. 3 questions. Every time he gets a question right, I want you to take a step towards him. Every time he gets a question wrong, step away from him. So he was right. Win. All right. How many letters? 3. I've never gotten this far. What's the first letter? last question. If you get this right, Max, not only are you telling Bethany, you're telling all of us here you guys are a perfect match. What was the word?
Fun.
I've never said this before, but I think you two are going to make it. You know, I've actually had this for like a decade as a reminder of my favorite date, and I hope that it brings you as many good memories as this brought me. Thank you very much, and good luck to you both. Thank you, guys. I got another show tomorrow. Thank you. You guys are a wonderful audience. Thank you very much. As you were walking in, I had you write down your initials and something that you lie about, right? And against my better judgment, I trusted it to this guy. What's your name?
Richard.
Trusted it to Richard. All right, Richard, we're going to use those in a second. But first, I want to mention this. I love puzzles. Whenever I'm stuck in like a waiting room, and rather than take out my phone, I try to do anagrams are my new obsession. So an anagram, for those of you who don't remember, is when you mix up the letters of a word to create another word. A very famous one is if you mix up all the letters of Elvis, you get the word lives, right? You can also use multiple words. If you're stuck, 2 words. So like I, Brian Curry, you can mix up all those letters and get urinary crib. I bring this up because I'm going to hide a secret anagram somewhere in the show. Those of you who are paying very close attention might see it. Now, the early 1900s was a very good time for entertainment. Of course, we had vaudeville, but we also had something called the spiritualism movement. The spiritualism movement was the first time in American history psychics could come out and practice their craft without being, burned to death. So, if you were alive back then and watching one of these shows, they all had one act in common. It's what I'd like to show you now. They would have people write down things. It was a word or a question or a thought. They would use those in the show. So, tonight you wrote down things that you lie about. Richard, take those for me. Take the bucket. Grab 3 that are face down, but try to pick them from different parts of the bucket so we get to use different audience members. Thank you. 1. Can I borrow you? Can you hold your drink for a second? Yeah, that's okay. What if he drinks it? I don't know. Chris is all the way over there. It's farther than Chris. You're safe from Chris. What's your name? Patty. Excellent. What I want you to do, he picked these for you. I want you to read all 3 of them and pick only one. The one you keep, you just keep in your lap. The others you can drop on the floor, okay? You with me? It can be whatever you want. It can be the one that's the funniest or the weirdest, or there's one you relate to or whatever. We're going to talk about good lies, because a lot of times the things we lie about reveal more about us than the things that we don't lie about. So, and there is such a thing as a good lie. For example, this is an example of a good lie. This is a good lie that everyone in the room has said. Oh, that is a beautiful baby. It's a good lie, right? Or you look so good in those pants. Or you've been a wonderful audience. No, not you guys. You guys are, I'm talking another audience. You know what I mean? The point is, sometimes we lie. And they say the average adult lies between 15 and 50 times a day. That means I can almost guarantee that everyone here has been lied to today. Before the show. Now, what we're going to do in a second, we're going to talk about your lies. But first, let's play a game. I want everyone to pretend, for just a moment, that they have an invisible laptop on their lap. Go ahead, open up your invisible laptop. Excellent. I'm going to look away. Go ahead, type in your initials. I'm connecting with someone with NC. Who is NC? Raise your initials if you have the initials NC. Is there just one? One NC? Was it? That was you? You're not sure. It keeps coming up and down. Stand up for me, sir.
No, I didn't know. Yeah.
Okay, stand up for me, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right, you stay right there. First of all, how you doing?
Well,
Good. Thank you for asking. It's easier to read someone's mind when you get to know them. Let me ask you a couple questions. First of all, where were you born?
Tacoma Park.
Tacoma Park. Oh, you're local. All right. And have you lived here your whole life?
No.
Where else have you lived?
Lived in California, Tennessee, Hawaii.
Okay. I think that you're the type, I think you're a kind person, but I think that sometimes you don't have stuff together, so you probably lie about time, like being late, why you're late type of thing. What is it that you said you lied about?
About why I might be late.
Why you might be late? Oh my God, so that's like a hit. All right, thank you, sir. You can have a seat. All right, good. All right, let's try it again. This time, everyone take there's an easel. Take a paintbrush and go ahead. Paint, I won't look. Paint your initials. Where's JH?
Right here.
Where's JH? Sir, is there any other JHs? Anyone else? JH, two of them? Both stand up for me? Okay, let me see. I think the person I'm connecting with is actually you. You can have a seat, sir. I'm sorry. I think you're the one. Hi, how are you? What's your name?
Judy.
Judy. Let's have some fun. What was your favorite childhood cartoon? Do you remember?
First thing that comes up is Arthur.
Arthur. I loved Arthur. That's excellent. Another question. This hopefully is a fun memory. Yes or no? Do you remember your first kiss?
I do.
What was the person's name with whom you shared that first kiss?
Stanley.
Stanley? How long has it been since you've seen Stanley?
A long time.
Long time. It would be weird to see Stanley now, wouldn't it?
Really, but.
Well, he's here for a duo. Please, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I thought that would be funny. Can I say your lie out loud? Or would you rather me not?
Oh, it's fine.
Do you lie about your weight?
No.
Where's my other one? Do you lie about your weight?
No.
No. All right, have a seat. We're going to call that one a miss. Okay. We were just killing time for you anyway. Have you got one?
Yeah.
Excellent. Good. You picked one. Focus on the initials. There's an A. Yes? There is an A. It starts with an A?
Yes.
Is it AM?
Yes.
It is an AM. Focus on their lie. This person lies about something to do with sports? No. Okay. This person lies about. This is you picked your own lie, but this is something you've lied about. Okay, you're clinching. All right, don't be such a Jason the skeptic. All right. Relax. You believe? That actually helped. It bells. Wedding. Is there something to do with a wedding? Something to do with wedding. This person lies about wedding. No. How they got married. When this person made up a fake eloping story for the people they didn't invite to the wedding.
Yes.
Is that it? Oh, I nailed it. Stand up for me. Does it say what religion the ceremony was?
No.
Good. Put it on the ground. Pretend that you know what it is. In your mind, come up with that religion. Be specific. Don't say like, Christian. Be like Catholic. Okay? Turn around, because I don't want you to see what I'm writing. All right? What religion were they? Turn around and take a look. You nailed that! Oh my God, you're awesome! All right, let's do one more. Who's got the bucket? Can you grab one for me? Okay, and find a card that's face down and fold it in half. Did you read it or no?
I can't read.
Okay, perfect. That's great. Fold it in half for me. Oh, this is going to be private. Okay, we're going to do it differently this time. I'm going to call out your initials, and then I'm going to try to find you. Okay, so if this is your initials, don't respond. If you're sitting next to someone with these initials, don't respond. This is LL. This is LL. Would you stand up for me? Yeah. You're not LL. What is September 15th? That's your birthday? With the stripes, can you stand up for me? I'm looking for LL, and you lie about how you're doing, how your day's doing?
Yep.
Something like that. Is that correct?
Yep.
All right, let's give her a hand. You got it. You got it. The reason the show is called The Good Liar is because I'm a fraud. I'm not really psychic. I'm not a mind reader, I'm barely a mind user. The truth is that when I'm off stage, I'm a skeptic. Where's Jason? I'm like you, Jason. I'm like you. I'm like an attractive Jason. Everything I'm doing on stage it's just psychology dressed up as mind reading, and it's the same. But when I first got out of college, I spent a few years pretending that it was a real psychic, and I knew it was wrong, but I justified it. I said I'm just an actor playing the role of a psychic. And the people that came to see me, they're pretending, right? It's like the Ren Fair. You know, people like to dress up and pretend. They're just pretending they believe in it because it's fun. This is a picture of my Aunt Jenny. She was awesome. She married Uncle Bill. Uncle Bill's the guy nobody wants to get stuck next to at Thanksgiving. He's very smart and very condescending. And Aunt Jenny died unexpectedly when I was 25. And a few months later, I get a knock on the door. It was Uncle Bill. Uncle Bill says, "Hey, Brian, are you still doing your little psychic thing?" I said, "Yes." He says, "I need to talk to Jenny. I need to say goodbye." I'd probably done that 100 times before, but this time it was different. You know, I looked at him, I'm like, "Wait, you know it's a trick, right?" And the look in his, I couldn't tell if he was angry or disappointed at the situation or just in me. But that was the moment that I realized that some of the, not all, but some of the people that come to see me are just desperate. They're looking for hope, and I thought I was giving them closure. I'd like to think my heart was in the right place, but it's just a big con. So I decided I would only use my powers for good. I mean, not just to entertain people, but to educate people. Look, I hope real psychics exist. I've just never seen any evidence that they really do, and I've been looking. So for the rest of the show, I will no longer pretend to be psychic. Instead, I will expose some of the techniques that the fakes use, so if you ever meet the real deal, you'll know the difference. I need someone who plays cards, someone who's a card player, and I think the right back end with the really cool glasses in the back seat. Would you mind joining us? Let's give her a hand, let's give her a hand. Daph, how you doing? Good. Did you play cards?
I do.
All right, what's your game? Spades, all right.
Yeah.
Woo! A lot of spades fans in the audience. Daph, I want you to mix the cards. Put your hands on the end and just kind of shuffle them up, but try to keep them in the bucket. Now, when I first came out of psychic, what I'm about to show you got me a lot of attention. Not because it's the most amazing thing, but because it's technically very difficult. So rather than try to fool you with this, I'm going to teach you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. Okay, are you done? Everyone who thinks these cards are shuffle enough, say aye. All opposed, please sit silently. There are some cards that are face down there, Daph. Let's flip it over. There's some that are face down. Would you grab a face down? I won't look. Grab a face down card. I'm just trying to make it easy. Or hide it up against your body. Have you got one? You got it? Okay, good. Now, Daph, I'm going to ask you to step forward. In a second, I want you to show the whole audience your card and then hide it. And then say, "Brian, I'm all done." Audience, don't say the card out loud. Don't whisper it to your neighbor. When you're done, say, "Brian, I'm all done." All right, let me know. All right, good. So, what I'm about to do is a very old memory technique. Let me just flip these over. Memory technique that goes back to the 1950s. And I'm actually going to let you guys play along while I do it. So I'm going to pass these out here at the front row. Would you take these for me? Sure. Would you read those cards out loud, one at a time? Or if you want, you can mix them some more. It's your choice. There you go.
Two of hearts.
Okay, start with the... I can't open this pen. There you go. Two of hearts. Start with the two of hearts.
7 of diamonds.
7 of diamonds.
3 of clubs.
3 of clubs.
4 of hearts.
4 of hearts.
6 of diamonds.
6 of diamonds.
4 of clubs.
4 of clubs. Okay, audience, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to set 60 seconds on the timer. You have 60 seconds to memorize these 6 cards. I'm going to use that same 60 seconds to memorize the entire deck of cards. All right? Good luck. This timer starts now. Okay. All right, we're going to check your memory in just a second. Now, it's interesting. There have been social scientists that say that our memories are getting worse because of cell phones. There was a time where we could memorize all sorts of things. Would you hold those for me? Thank you so much. I'm going to pass out a few piles here. Would you hold these for me, sir? there was a time where we could memorize all sorts of cool things. For example, in 6th grade, my next door neighbor was Bobby Brunner. Oh, please don't mix those cards. Don't mix them. Those are the orders that I've memorized, so please don't mix them. My best friend, or my next door neighbor was Bobby Brunner. I haven't seen Bobby in decades, but his phone number was 703-830-2955. I haven't seen him, but I remember his number. Fast forward to today, it took me 2 years of marriage before I could remember Becca's number. So if I were ever arrested, I would be like, is Bobby Brunner still here? The point is, our memory is a muscle that can be trained. And that's why today, so hopefully you guys did well here, and we're going to show you what technique I'm using. So let's start at the beginning. What was the first card on that list, audience?
2 of hearts.
2 of hearts. If they're right, drop it inside of the net. Can you stand up for me? Thank you so much. 2 of hearts, what's the next one?
I memorized them out of order.
7 of diamonds. Are they right? Okay. What's the next one? 3 of clubs. Very good. We lost a few people. What's next? 4 of hearts. Nicely done over here. 6 of diamonds. And 4 of clubs. Very good. Right. Some of you got, I think you got all 6 of those. Very nicely done. I'm going to keep going. Would you stand up for me, please? Okay. I believe it was the Ace of Spades, 5 of hearts. 9 of spades, 2 of spades. Queen of hearts, 3 diamonds, last card, Queen of clubs. Okay, so the way that this works is that before the show, I've changed every card into a picture because numbers are hard to remember, but images are easy. So for example, King of clubs is always Michael Jackson, because when I did this, Michael Jackson was the coolest guy you'd hear at a club. So every card has a picture, and I use those pictures to create a story in my mind that I won't forget, right? So let's keep going here. Sir, would you toss in your 8 of hearts? Okay, 6 of spades, 5 of spades, 9 of hearts, king of clubs, 2 of diamonds, Jack of hearts, 3 of spades, 8 of spades, 6 of hearts, 10 of clubs, 5 of diamonds, king of diamonds. Yes, all right. After years of practice, my memory is as sharp as a dagger. This is how I know. What was your name? That's how I know Jasper. All right, we're going to jump to the end here. Who's got it? You got it. If you believe me, you can say, Brian, I believe you, toss the cards in. If you don't believe me, or frankly, if you just want me to tell you the cards you have, you can say, Brian, I challenge you.
Challenge.
I accept your challenge. All right. Start with the, I'm going to try to go fast, try to keep up. 4 spades. Start at the bottom, make it easy. 7 of hearts, 4 diamonds, Ace of clubs, 9 of clubs, Jack of spades, Queen of diamonds, 7 of clubs, Queen of spades, 10 of diamonds, 6 of clubs, Ace of hearts. Excellent. Now, we're going to try it differently for you, sir. I can either go from the top to the bottom, or bottom to the top. If you really want, I can mix it up. I can go top card, bottom card, new top card, new bottom card, so I meet in the middle. So what kind of man are you, sir? Do you prefer the top and the bottom, or do you like to mix it up? You like to mix it up? Of course you do, little minx. All right. All right, so let's start on the side that says the 2 of clubs. Tossing the 2 of clubs. In my mind, I have to go get forward 13 cards, which I believe is the Ace of diamonds. Back to the beginning, 3 of hearts. Back to the end, it is 10 of hearts. Back to the beginning is the 8 of diamonds. Back to the end is 7 of spades. Back to the beginning is the 5 of clubs. Back to the end is the Jack of clubs. Back to the beginning is the King of spades. Back to the end is the King of hearts. Back to the beginning is Jack of diamonds. Back to the end is 7 of spades. Should be dead in the middle, 8 of clubs. Yes, but wait, I still don't know what card she has. So in my mind, I go through all the cards. I count the aces. That's 1 ace, 2 aces, 1 ace. It's not an ace. I keep going until I figure out which one's missing. It takes me 30 seconds to memorize the deck, about 15 seconds to figure out which one's missing, and 10,000 hours of practice. Also, I can tell you you're holding a 9 of diamonds. Did I get it? Are any of you the type of person who would enjoy getting a psychic reading, like a palm reading or something like that? Just for fun, not like a serious thing, but just kind of a fun thing. You would? Can I borrow you real quick? Let's give her a hand. Let's give her a hand. This is just a real quick thing. What's your name? Sarah. Can I borrow your left hand? Excellent. That's nice. Can you squeeze it for me and then open it back up? Make the lines nice and thick. Thank you. Okay. Do you mind if I do a private reading in public? Okay. And Sarah?
Yes.
Okay, so this is interesting. This is your lifeline here, Sarah. You see yours has a little break there, which means you eat anything you want to make. Have sex. We call this your, it looks like the letter M. It goes up, down, but you're missing that part there, which means you're a very specific type of good friend. You're the type of good friend who always tells your friends what they need to hear, and sometimes, sir, that's not what they want to hear. Does that sound right?
Sure.
Let me ask him, sir, does that sound right? Yeah, sure does, yeah. All right, this is interesting. They look like stress lines. These are like laugh lines, but these are stress lines, and yours are thick, but they're short. That means when you were younger, you held on to a lot of guilt, and as you got older, you learned to give yourself a break and accept yourself. That's really nice. I want to thank you for letting me do that in front of everybody. Let's give Sarah a hand. That's called cold reading. Cold reading is when you tell people specific information, but that specific information applies to most people. I would have said those exact same words to every single person on stage, and I would have gotten it right. Well, I would have gotten it right at least 80% of the time. And if you're a psychic, if you're right 80% of the time, you're one of the best psychics on the planet, right? That's all you need to be a really successful psychic. So once you get good at that, you do something called hot reading. Hot reading is when you use physical cues to give people a more specific reading, right? So what am I talking about? Your body language tells you people how you feel, but your clothes tell people how you want to be perceived. And once you've narrowed someone down to a certain personality type, if you think of the Myers-Briggs, if you get them down to a personality type, you can tell them all sorts of really cool information. You can tell them why they struggle at work, why they probably broke up with their last relationship. It's really freaky. You can start guessing things like names or birth dates, and that's where it gets really, really good. Now, we're going to play a game involving hot reading. I want everyone to think of a simple image. Some of you have already picked a simple image. If you have, don't change your mind. It'll just confuse me. All right? On the end, sir, stand up for me. You picked a simple image, and ma'am, next one, would you stand up for? What's your name? Nick. And
Sydney.
Nick, the simple image you picked, I want you to whisper it to Sydney, but only Sydney. Okay? Now, we're going to play a game where we're going to test out your cold and hot reading abilities. Okay? So, Sydney, Nick, you can have a seat. You heard the image, I'm assuming? I'm scared. I want you to imagine that somebody's walking past you, and on their t-shirt is the image he just whispered to you. They walk right past you into a restaurant. Okay? Don't say it out loud, but pick a restaurant in your mind. First restaurant that pops into your mind. Do you have one? Let me ask you a question. Is it a restaurant most people have heard of? If you were to say Ben's Chili Bowl, only people from DC would get it. Is it something that everyone would have heard of? Yeah. Very good. Okay, audience, ask yourself, what was the restaurant? Well, we'll do that in a second. Man, would you mind whispering just the restaurant to this woman right here? Now, go start sizing up our three people. What are they wearing? What's their body language? Is it appropriate for a grown adult to have Axe body spray? Please stand up, please. Okay, did you hear the restaurant? Is that, you've heard of it?
Yes.
Pick one food that people eat at that restaurant and mime eating it for the audience. So turn so everyone can see. And go ahead and mime eating that food.
Oh.
If you can expound. Okay, audience, what was she eating? Yeah, well, I don't think so. It was, you said that she jabbed it, so it definitely was not a soup. Steak. What was it?
Cheesecake.
Cheesecake! Right? Okay, now this is going to be a little easy. You can have a seat. Okay, no, that was perfect though. Audience, ask yourself, I'm going to give you 15 seconds, although you really don't need it. Will you stand up for me, please? What restaurant did Sydney whisper that got her to cheesecake? Are we all with it? The cheesecake? Okay, we don't even need to do the timer. Timer, you're done. It was a Cheesecake Factory? Excellent. Have a seat for me. Sir, will you stand up? This is starting to get more difficult though. Ask yourself, sorry, that was the first 15 seconds. Ask yourself, what was the simple image he whispered to her that made her think of the Cheesecake Factory? All right, I'm going to give you 15 more seconds. Discuss with your neighbors. Try to take a guess. What was the simple image that he whispered to her? Okay, all right. Let's see how you get. How many of you, very few of us got cheesecake. Did anyone get cheesecake? You got cheesecake? Oh, nicely done. How many of us got Cheesecake Factory? Pretty much everyone. For the first time, what was the simple image you whispered to her?
A fish with a top hat.
A fish with a top hat. All right. All right. Here's the thing. Mind reading is not an exact science. Sometimes you're off a little bit, but you only have to be right 80% of the time. But those other 20, you can take a guess. And if you're right, it's amazing. I drew a fish with a freaking top hat! I traveled a lot. As a little boy, I traveled an awful lot. When I was a little kid, I lived in France and then in Japan, and I lived a lot of places where other kids didn't speak English. And as a result, I didn't have a lot of friends. I became very, very shy and introverted, so that when I came back to America, I still didn't make a lot of friends. When I was 16 years old, I got my first job at Tyson's Corner Mall at a kiosk. Big Tyson Corner fan. I was a kiosk where I sold magic tricks to muggles. My boss was named Patrick. Funny guy, nice guy. First day on the job, he says, "Brian, you look too young," and he went downstairs, and he bought me a tuxedo with tails. And even though he was older than me, we became really good friends over time, because when you work at the ball, it's feast or famine, right? You spend all day waiting for the rush hour. And so we spent hundreds of hours, and Patrick taught me sleight of hand. He taught me misdirection. By the way, misdirection. People think misdirection is like, hey, look over there. Good misdirection is giving people something that feels important, so they don't feel you pulling the blanket over their heads. About a year after I started working there, I remember one day a big group of guys walked up, and strong guys, and one guy reached up and pushed Patrick onto the ground. And I was like, oh my God, this is my moment. I've been waiting my whole life, 2 extra pumps on my Reeboks. Shh, shh. Time to break in this tuxedo and see what I can do. I wish I could say I did something. I didn't. I just watched, and I was kind of scared. And eventually Patrick got up, and he looked at these guys, and then he put out his hands. And they put him in handcuffs and took him away. Turns out Patrick was a con man. And those were federal agents who had spent 7 years chasing him down. He was probably my best friend, and I didn't know one real thing about him. Patrick wasn't even his real name. And at first I was hurt, and I was mostly embarrassed. And I eventually became determined. I didn't want to be lied to again. So I've spent a lifetime studying the way that people lie. And I've come up with a lie detecting system that I'd like to share with you today. So at the beginning of the show, you narrowed us down to the ladies. I think it's only fair that we pick on the gentlemen. I'm going to pick on 5 gentlemen liars. If you're sitting next to a liar, please point at them now. This is a good chance at them, their neighbors. You're definitely a liar. At the end, would you please, can you join us? And this guy right here is a liar, so would you join us as well?
I know, I know this.
Yes. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. One more. Yes, he's going to this guy. Yeah, join. Let's give him a hand. Come on, okay, guys. Stand right along the front. Oh, guys, look at this lineup. I would totally pay to see this boy band. We have Posh Spice, you know, Scary Spice, Old Spice. You guys can all take a step forward for me. Excellent. I have a thing full of name tags, all right? And I don't want you to open them, so there's a paper clip on each one. Would you reach in there and grab a name tag? Don't open it yet. Okay, we're going to go down the line. Everyone gets one. You get a name tag.
Action shot. Right.
And what are your names? I'm sorry, again? Mike. Mike again? Don? And John. Excellent. Excellent. Now, in a second, you're going to say to yourself, wait a second, if I had stood in a different position, this whole thing would have gone differently. I don't want you to go through that. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to switch positions as much as you'd like. It's like musical chairs. After 5 seconds, no more changing. Ready? In a second, you're going to say, wait, if I had picked a different name tag, this whole thing would have gone differently. I don't want you to go through that. I'm going to give you 5 seconds to change your name tag as much as you'd like. Ready? And begin. Okay, good. All right, settle. Now, before we begin, we're going to get your poker faces. So your no emotion poker face. So, sir, if you could just put your name tag out on your hand, look at the audience and give us your poker face. You, sir, are a worthy challenger. This is going to be good. Sir, would you show us your poker face? Can I say, I have a poker game at my house once a month. You're welcome. I'll always find a seat for you, sir. Would you show us your poker face? Walt Whitaker on the outside, Shirley Temple on the inside. There you go. And sir, show us your poker face.
Nice.
Good again. Is he frowning or smiling? You can't tell. He's like a Mona Lisa.
Not very pokery.
No, not very good. But you know what? It's pretty good. You can't really see what's going on in that head. That's good. All right. I want you to turn around, open up your name tags, read what it says. Turn around so we can't see. Read your name tags and then turn back around. Now, we're going to ask, let me explain. 4 of those name tags say truth. 1 of them says liar. We're going to ask them some questions and try to determine who the liar is among these 5 gentlemen. So once you've read it, turn back around. Again, 4 of you have a name tag that says true. I'm going to ask you questions, give me true answers. If your name tag says liar, give me a believable lie. Okay? Now these questions are going to tell me who the liar is. DC or Marvel? DC or Marvel comics? Let's start on this end. Sir, would you prefer DC or Marvel comics?
DC.
There. DC. Okay. Interesting. Marvel. Seal this. You're wonderful. Oh, so interesting. Okay, you know how to tell if someone's lying? Assuming their pants aren't actually on fire. Don't watch the face, watch the red. See, when we lie, our caveman brain gives us like a burst of adrenaline. And sometimes people's like their voice goes up. I didn't notice that with you guys, but that nervous energy has to get out somewhere. Now we control our face, we forget the rest of our body. Did you notice that this guy was like swaying back and forth? That nervous lying energy was getting out through your hips. I'm not saying that you definitely lie, but you are prone to lying. You're like, no, it's not a bad thing. He's like, you're like lie curious, right? You want to make sure that you don't judge someone just by that, because maybe he's just somebody who fidgets a lot, right? You don't know. You want to look for the change. When somebody changes their body language, that's the really big tell. So now I will say that you, sir, when you came up, you were calm, cool, and collected. There was no major movements, only a tiny slap, hip wave. And then when I asked you the question, you did the same thing, which means I think you're telling me the truth. Is that correct?
That'd be correct.
Excellent. And thank you, sir. You can have a seat. Let's give them a hand. Question 2. Toilet paper. Over or under? All right. Do you want bangs or a mohawk? Or a rat tail? Mullet. Thank you. Over? Okay.
Over.
Okay, I think you're telling the truth, and here's why. Both times I asked questions, you were watching their face. The liar knows that everyone else is telling the truth, so they're focused on themselves. You were trying to play along, which means you're telling the truth on the end. Is that correct? Yeah? All right, we got it. Thank you, sir. You can have a seat. Stuck on a deserted island. Would you rather have no TV or no internet? Start on this end. No internet. No internet. No TV. No internet. Okay, I want all 3 of you to turn around. Peel the back off your name tag and stick it on your shirt. Don't turn back around yet. Now, you know when you watch poker games, they're always wearing glasses, because sometimes when you're lying and you get excited, your eyes dilate. And so with that in mind, I think, I'm like 80% sure. This is our liar, but if I'm wrong, 20% is this guy. 80% is this guy. This is like my backup school. This is UVA, Virginia Tech. But this is my guess. All right, whoever it is, all 5 of you were excellent liars, and you deserve our appreciation. Please turn around. Let's see who it is. I need to borrow an iPhone. Who's got an iPhone? These 2? These 2? She's got one. She popped it right up. Can you unlock it and hand it to me? She's totally going to do it. All right, thank you. Yeah. Must be a tourist. What's your name?
Sarah.
Sarah. Okay. As I said, average adult lies between 15 and 50 times a day. Right? They're small lies. You guys are going to try. Now, I might mess the curve up a little bit. You're going to try to guess how many times I lied a day. this week, this month, and this year. We're going to use your calculator. Oops, sorry, Sarah, can you hold on? Wait, hold on. Can I try? Okay, here's the deal. 3 guesses. If I get it right, amazing. If I get it wrong, you're locked out of your phone for like 30 minutes. Deal? Okay. This is not a part of the show. Don't hold it against me if I get this wrong. Okay. Question 1. Is it a 4 or 6-digit code? 6-digit code. All right, let's see. I don't know. What is your, was it something to do with the birthday? Does it have something to do with the birthday? It does? Okay. No? Okay, last question. What's your favorite Keanu Reeves movie? Matrix? All right, I agree. Okay. Do you guys remember when there was that murder and the police asked Apple to unlock the phone and they wouldn't? And they asked the FBI if they could unlock the phone and they said they couldn't. And they should have called me because I just unlocked your phone. I was so awesome. Oh my God, you should really change your password. I'm gonna find your calculator here. So, excellent. We're at how many times do you think I've lied today? Ma'am, give me a 2-digit number.
32.
32, that's very kind of you. Our first number will be 32. How about in the back? Gentleman right here with the glasses. How many times have I lied this week? 3-digit number, sir.
76.
376, is that what you said?
76.
3-digit number. So 76 what?
762.
762. So times 762. Alright. And over here, a man in the gray sweater. How many times have I lied this month? 4-digit number.
How many digits?
4 digits?
4225.
Times 4225. Okay, and this was whose phone? This is your phone. Okay, would you take this for me, please? And I want you to type in times, and then type in a 5-digit number. So type in 5 digits, any 5 digits. Tell me when you're there.
Okay.
Hit equals. All right? And I want you to, is it a big number?
Yeah.
Good. I want you to read that big number off to me, one number at a time, please. Go ahead.
2,
2,
1,
1,
0,
0,
1,
1,
7,
7,
0,
0,
0,
0,
0,
0,
9.
9. Is that it?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to use this in just a second. Now, I want to pause the show real quick, and I want to say a quick thank you for coming out. It has been such a crazy last year and a half. It feels so good to be in front of live people, so thank you. If you guys enjoyed the show, please help me get the word out. Tell your friends on Facebook, on Twitter. If you love the show, post a review on Instagram, on Yelp or TripAdvisor or Google. Those mean the world to me. By the way, DC was named the magic and mind-reading capital of the country. It's a title we gave ourselves. And the reason is because we have so many resident shows. We have, someone else saw another show earlier today. There's a lot of resident DC shows that are either mind-reading or magic. And so once a month I send out an email where I tell you, it's a calendar of events of all the different magic or mind-reading events coming through DC. And as an added bonus, the first time you sign up, I made a PDF of 5 adventures in DC for any relationship. So if you'd like to get on that list, take your camera, point it at the QR code on the back of your playbill, and you'll be logged in and signed up in just a few minutes, in just a few seconds. Now, I want to end the show by teaching one of you how to be a fake mind reader. I'm going to give one of you the experience of reading people's minds on stage. I think right here with the glasses, young lady, would you join us? Let's give her a hand, let's give her a hand. Elena, you're going to read some lines, okay? We're going to pick somebody who's easy to get to. This guy here on the end is going to be... Elena, let me show you this. These are musicians. Are you into music? No? Perfect. Blues Traveler, you heard of them? Sheryl Crow? No? Missy Elliott? No? Okay. This is TLC? You've never heard of these? Okay. Wow, I'm so old. This may not work, but we're going to try it. Would you stand up for me, sir? What's your name? Reno. These are all the musicians that I've met, right? Or heard of? And Reno, I want you to open this up in the middle and hide it up against your body so that nobody can see which one it is. So open up in the middle, hide it up against your body. Take a peek at it. Is that someone you've heard of? Yeah, close it. Who's got a dollar bill he can borrow? I'll reimburse you right now. Who's got a buck? He's got one right here. Would you go get that? I don't want to touch it. Can you go get it from him, please? Yeah, I want you to touch it. You'll see one. I don't want to touch it. You'll see one. It'll make sense then.
All right.
And Reno, do me a favor. Write the musician on George Washington's forehead and then fold it up twice. And, sir, what's your name?
Andrew?
Andrew, I'm going to reimburse you right now. I'm trying to get rid of these quarters anyway. All right, Reno, are we good? Okay. Yeah, fold one. Yeah, then one more time. That's a little sugar patty. That's okay. That's fine. Thank you, Reno. Can you have that pen for me? Excellent. It was a small but important job. Let's give him a hand. Let's give him a hand. Thank you. Hold on top of your head, please. On top of your head. Now you're going to try to read Reno's mind. Okay? Now, it's a famous musician. Everyone on that list is a famous, super famous musician. So from my childhood all the way to now, so 90s all the way till like now, right? It could be like all the Boys and Men, above the Boys and Men, all the way up till now. All right? First musician that pops into your head. Take a look at him and say it out loud. Beyonce. Good choice. She is on that list. Yes or no? Reno. Say this person that you wrote down out loud.
Britney Spears.
Was it Beyonce? Okay. This just became a redemption story. All right. Some people, we all have strengths. Yours, isn't that? So we're going to try something different. Instead, I want you to open up the bill. Okay? Unfold it. It's going to say Britney Spears on the George Washington. If you could just look just to the right of George Washington, there's a bunch of numbers and letters. It's a serial number. Do you see the serial number just to the right of George Washington's eyes? Okay, there's always a letter at the beginning, a letter at the end. Focus on the letter at the end. Okay. Is it a K? It is a K. There's a letter at the beginning. Focus on that. Well, that's so interesting. In your mind, when I said focus on the letter, you started humming a note. What was that note? Hum it out loud. Is it a B?
Yes.
It's a B. I was a B flat, but I knew you were going. There's a bunch of numbers in the middle, yeah? First number, is it a 2? There's a 1. There's a 6. Wait a second. Do you guys remember when we used your calculator? We multiplied how many times you thought I lied today, this week, this month, this year. 2, 1, 0 was the next number? 1. Keep going.
7.
Keep going.
0.
Yep.
0.
Yep.
0.
Yep.
9.
Not bad for her first try. Let's give her a hand. You guys enjoy the show? Before I leave you, I do have a question, because there are some people who would prefer that I pretend to be psychic. How many of you prefer that I expose the psychology, memory techniques, and body language techniques in the show? Good, because those were a lie too. I always ask myself, is it possible to tell people you're going to lie to them and still get them to believe you? We live in a time right now where we can't agree on basic facts. And I think if you're not making people smarter, you're making them dumber. So tonight, I'm going to do something I hate to do. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to come clean. And I'm going to reveal my 3 favorite lies from the show. Favorite lie number 3 was all the psychology and memory techniques. Look, I can memorize a deck of cards, but it takes me a lot longer than 30 seconds. Some of you may have recognized that. Now, like all good lies, you start with the truth, and then you blend the line between fact and fiction. Right? Some of you might have recognized those body language techniques I used to figure out that you were the liar. Because I was telling you real techniques. I wasn't using them, but I was telling you real techniques. I knew the second you walk into the room that you guys are mixed up, you would be our liar. I can prove it. What's your name? Don. Remember when I said these questions would tell me the liar? I wrote these specifically for you. Look at the first letter of each question. Don will be our liar. Right? That brings me to my favorite lie number 2. Were all of the personal stories that I told you. There was no Miss Wanda. I made that up. I said she was a beautiful woman with a tan shirt and black hair. I was just looking at you in 2nd row. Tan shirt, black hair, beautiful woman. Oh, also, there's no Aunt Jenny. This is the picture that came with the frame. That brings me to my favorite lie number 1. Were all the mistakes in the show. Because if I'm going to convince you that what I'm doing is psychology, I have to get some stuff wrong. Right? Like Eliana and the Britney Spears thing. That was, I'm sorry, but that was exactly the mistake I needed you to make. And I can prove it. You guys have been staring at the name Britney Spears for most of the show. You just didn't realize it. Remember when I said there was a secret hidden anagram? Look at the word Presbyterians. That's a B. That's an R. Let me make it easy for you. Presbyterians is a perfect anagram for Britney Spears. Of course, that doesn't explain how I knew the serial number in your wallet. As you were walking in, someone may have borrowed your wallet for a second, sir, and they stuck in a dollar bill with this serial number, which is a number that's easy for me to remember. I can't really prove that, but after everything else I've showed you, hopefully you believe me. If you believe me, say aye.
Aye.
No! Don't believe me! That's the whole point of the show! Don't you get it? I'm like Patrick. I'm the friend you don't know one real thing about. Brian Curry's not even my real name. And when people give you extraordinary claims, you need to ask for extraordinary proof. Sometimes you just need to flip people's perspective upside down to see the truth that I'm just a very good liar.